welcome to the 17th episode of the Journey for Greatness podcast. We're extremely excited. As we said last week on the podcast, we got a special guest today, and we didn't reveal it to you, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of him right now, okay? We got Lorenzo Hill on with us today. He's in Fort Mill, and he co-owns with his wife a food truck. Fort Mill's a little bit south of Charlotte. Lorenzo, say hi to the fans out there.
What's going on out there? We call it Fort Trill out here.
It's Fort Trill.
I coined that phrase, Fort Trill.
Okay, I thought it was Mill. My mistake. I kind of messed up a little. Hey, listen, I'm not from the area, so, you got to kind of,
No,
so.
It is Fort Mill, but we call it Fort Trill just to be funny.
Okay.
Just to be
All right.
funny.
Okay. All right. So, Tom, why don't you actually kind of tell them how, because I didn't, James was, our last guest was from the gym I work at. Mm-hmm. So kind of, and he started a post on Instagram. Everybody knows that's how we found James. But Tom actually found Lorenzo. So Tom, why don't you kind of give them a background real fast of how you kind of came?
Yeah, it was a funny happening. I was thinking, obviously the business mind that I am, I was always thinking about different ways to either start a business, whatever. And I was thinking to myself, being from upstate New York, everybody knows, the garbage plate and just different ways to do it. Different restaurants have tried to replicate it, and I was thinking, is there any, with all the transplants down in Charlotte, I was thinking, is there anybody doing that in Charlotte? So I jumped on Google. I started doing a little bit of research, and I came across Kennedy's, which I told you about.
Yep.
And I saw they had, the plate challenge, whatever that was, and they also served them. And then I did a little bit more digging. I come across an article. I think it was, through one of the, news stations or something like that. Yeah, it was the Gazette.
The Gastonia Gazette.
Yeah. Yep. And I read that, and I came across Lorenzo, and he and his food truck, the Remixx Kitchen, and I did a little bit more digging, went to their Facebook page, saw a huge picture of a garbage plate, and I was like, holy shit. Like, I found the guy that's doing the garbage plate. You know what I mean? And I found that he does not just that, but he does a bunch of different food, and he, so after I did my digging and research, I thought, why the hell? Because, you and I were trying to find a guest for this week, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I thought to myself, why not, shoot them a message on Facebook and see if they'd be open to, jumping on the podcast. So that's really how it happened. It was a really, I don't know, we always find these unique connections on how, we found James, and then how we, have all these weird connections, and we talk about them. And this was another one, just a random connection, and really grateful that, you came on and, in last minute notice, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, Sunday, we're not usually doing anything, so it's definitely a perfect day for us. And, obviously she knows I don't mind talking, so she actually gets annoyed by it, but to a certain degree. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool that when you're Googling now, because we did it last night as well, when you're doing like Charlotte garbage plates or whatever like that, we're coming up in like, what, top 3?
I think it was the 4th down.
Like 1, 2, 3, yeah. Like we're coming up like in the midst of, which is pretty awesome. And I've heard of Kennedy's as well. I haven't tried it out. I don't think they have Zweigels though. That's another thing too. We brought the Zweigels too.
It's not authentic.
Yep. So actually, to give a little background, from Rochester, there's a company that makes hot dogs that are authentic, legendary in Rochester. Mm-hmm. I think Syracuse has Hoffman, Buffalo has Salem. So, yeah, we're obviously,
And Boston has the clam chowder, kids, so yeah.
Clam chowder. Boston, I've been to Boston before a few times, and they do have quite delicious seafood scene and chowder and, what's the other thing you guys got up there? Was it Boston cream pie or something like that? you got something up there. Yeah. You got something up there. But yeah, Zweigels is pretty much a small, pretty much family-owned hot dog business. Like it's and it's one of those things that you can truly only get in Rochester, New York, in like a Wegmans or Tops or something like that. Even if you go to New York City, you're not going to get Zweigels. You're not going to get Zweigels like that. You're not going to find them. They're not going to really know.
They don't even know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, they got Sabrett's. They got, Nathan's Dog, stuff like that. So it's more uniqueness coming from Rochester. We have a really good food scene in Rochester. Don't get us wrong. I mean, we're a very small city, but we have a very great food scene with a lot of just our own personal flair, like our own personal things that you can't get anywhere else. Country sweet sauce, boss sauce, Sal's Birdland sauce. I got a jar of boss sauce in the cabinet right now. I always got to keep that, the Petrillo rolls, the little not hard rolls that you get at the Bill Gray's or the Tom Walls. All that stuff is synonymous for Rochester. We love it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's another thing too. Down here, which Lorenzo said, it's kind of a rolling Hots place. Like when I go back up home, I love going to, we got Bill Gray's, we got Tom Walls, we got Shaler's, we got all these different places, that people love these places that they go to. They're kind of old school. You walk in,
no frills.
They just no frills. You get a burger, you get fries, and they've been doing it the same way, for years and years and years, and they're still in business. And
and true.
Yeah, and for me, I kind of read Lorenzo's story, and I was inspired because a lot of times you look back, and I was asking Lorenzo when we talked yesterday, were there any jobs that you worked that you hated? Because for me, I've worked a bunch of different jobs. I've probably done, 25, 30 different jobs, and I've, most of them I hate, and I just look at it. I love doing that. Like, I'm not getting paid to do this podcast, but it's enjoyable for me because I hear people's, stories, and I think Eric and I can agree that, documenting those stories and listening to people talk about what they enjoy doing, motivates me to just kind of continue to find that and find a way for, I don't know, we can't bring you necessarily value right now, but, if we do this in 6 months to a year, what's the following of the journey for greatness? And you never know, it might lead to more customers for you. And that's kind of our, theory is, hey, there's going to be value for us to bring to people. And so, I don't know, it just was a really cool story. So we thought we'd get him on, and, we appreciate, like I said, you coming on and, talking a little bit about the business. So.
Even for the awareness factor.
Yeah.
Because even with the article that was in the...
And we actually got Lorenzo's wife here too, did he? She
Hello.
came in.
There you go. We got the whole gang. I like it.
Yeah, we got a trifecta working here because we got headphones for me. I got a dual port, so I wish everybody could see what we're doing here because it's just it's a funny, it's kind of rudimentary setup, but this is what it is. You got to start.
You got to do what you
You got to start, and that's the biggest thing. Eric and I, we started with a cell phone recorder, and that was the way our first episode was scratchy and didn't really sound that good, and.
And our first outing on the food trailer, our hood vent exploded.
It was a nightmare.
We're at a Keeler dealership out in
God.
Gastonia.
So talk a little bit about that. Like, talk about, you said the first night you guys had the food truck.
The very first service we had, we were invited to a Kia dealership out in Gastonia. The gentleman that I believe is a manager there, he actually had his truck stored up in the storage lot where we have our trailer. And I was up there one day cleaning, getting ready for our initial inspection. He came up, he said, hey, how you guys doing? Are you guys open yet? Da, 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 da. So we got to talking, and, we talked over the phone a couple times. He invited us out to the lot for a service, something for their employees. He was doing a lunch thing for them. So we went out there. Oh, my God. First off, we passed it. We had to stop and get propane, turn around, go back. We get there. We get set up. It's like 95 degrees outside. We don't know what the hell we're doing. This is our first gig. And, he's inside the trailer.
Sweat my nuts
sweating, trying to get everything set up. I'm outside trying to get the menus, written and
what was the event?
Whatever. It was just like an
normal
employee lunch type thing. We had bought a generator off of a neighbor, and we hadn't tried it out yet. Yeah, big mistake. Yeah, because when we plugged it in, we got it running, the breaker blew. After we turned everything on. Turns out, and this was, again, this has been a huge learning process. Our equipment, because we had switched out some of the equipment actually inside the trailer. So we had more refrigerator space, more space.
I don't know anything about that type of stuff. So.
Yeah, amps and watts and volts and all that crap. So our generator was only 8,000 watts, but we were drawing like 10, 11. So the generator like would not work. It kept conking out. All the equipment shut down. We had no exhaust fan. Whew. We had no refrigeration. We didn't have our POS system yet, so we were doing everything by hand.
Yeah.
And our son, our 8-year-old, was taking orders, and he's got like little kid chicken scratch.
Max down here too, right?
Oh my God! So I'm trying to read his writing, and he was trying to help. You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
I forgot about that
He
part.
was doing the best he could, and he was asking people how do you spell your name. But yeah, I mean the trailer, the plastic light, the fixture that melted literally and fell off because it was so hot, and we were like smoked out. The back door was wide open, which is a complete no-no.
Definitely looked like a Snoop Dogg concert. Definitely looked like a Snoop Dogg concert for sure.
Oh yeah, now we got it all down to a science. Oh yeah,
exactly right. So you learned.
But
and how long ago?
The generator and all that.
Right.
How long ago was that? Was that like
that
you
was
said?
Last September.
Last September. So it's coming up on a year.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't even been open a year yet.
And that was actually the one thing that Eric and I talk about. We talked about doing this podcast for what? How long did he? Like 2 years?
Well, like
Easily.
A year and a half, yeah, 2 years, and then one time we were just like, we were so concerned about. I remember I was talking like every single night for an hour and a half. Like, okay, listen, we're gonna get a website set up. We're gonna get this set up. We gotta find the microphone, and we just kept talking about it, and finally we were just like one day, fuck it. Let's just do it, and we'll go from there. We'll learn.
Right.
So
Get better. And that's a perfect example. Exactly. Like, you guys, you probably didn't have everything tuned up exactly the way, and you might not even close probably now. Like you were talking about your vision for what you're experimenting with, what you want to try, different things. You got your, you're doing sausages, and, just kind of messing around with creativity, and it makes us realize that I think too many people talk so much about what they want to do instead of actually just starting with where they're at, right? You guys got the truck, you got the generator, you had everything you thought you needed, and then
even the simplest thing as because we have a trailer, not a food truck.
Oh, okay.
Trailer.
So you have to tow it.
So right, so even the simplest as hooking the bitch up and getting it locked and unlocked, we
stood outside the U-Haul facility where we're inside it for like 2
hours
hours one time because we could not figure out how to unlock the trailer from the truck. Sweating my nuts off yet again. Hot day, angry. A lot of curse words were flying that day because I've never really owned a boat or anything like that.
We have no.
I've never hauled anything
that.
like so.
None.
As simple as that.
It's something as simple as like trying to figure out how to disengage that. One time took us like 2 hours.
Yeah,
and a lot of cursing.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I drank afterwards. But I don't know.
And now it takes them like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it takes like 2 seconds.
That's a great lesson. You know what I mean?
But I mean, this whole thing. I mean, we're still learning. But as far as cooking and prepping and knowing where to go,
time management, basically,
to get stuff, and that we have pretty well down. Yeah. Well-oiled machine.
Let me ask you a question. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just thinking. You said like where to go. So like obviously the garbage plate isn't and I know you sell other stuff too. But that's not a big thing where you are. It's huge in Rochester. So how do you? I guess one thing would be 2 questions. Is one, I would feel like your type of because I've actually visited my boy Tommy over there and in Rochester and. We definitely indulged in a garbage plate while we were drunk. So do you guys?
I guess get the garbage plate with the Genesee beer. So what you gotta do?
Most people don't get those sober anyway.
I've had plenty of sober plates, but
I actually haven't. Not as many. But
so how do you guys decide where you're gonna go? Like, because I mean, it's not like it's like, oh, okay, this is a hot plate over here, so we need to hit that, and then be like. Do you guys work in like late nights too? Because I feel like what you guys have, because I said I read the article, I saw the stuff you guys serve. I feel like that would be absolutely great food for when a bar gets let out and your truck is right there.
Right. Well, it's actually kind of ironic. We've done several breweries and have not done well there. And honestly, people down here don't understand what the garbage plate is. Even after reading the menu and looking at, because I actually have a picture of it, of one laminated, one that we made, or he made. I took a picture of it, went to wherever and got it laminated so people could actually see it, not just read it. And they still don't get it. They still don't get it. They don't understand that it doesn't come with bread. You know, it's open face. That's the way it's written on the menu, and they still just don't understand. They get it, and they're
almost not disappointed, but they didn't understand it.
Right. So it's just, I mean, awareness is huge. Word of mouth, again, is humongous. I mean, even with the article, our Facebook page literally doubled in a day in likes because of that one newspaper article. And most of them were transplants from Rochester, or
thinking
nearby.
the same thing. A lot of people have been thinking, I want a plate. Where's a good plate? I should start a plate business. So they finally, found us. And
or we make our own. Some dude, my buddy and I, we made our own plate. Yeah. It was like, okay, well, you can't go buy them. Just let's
right after the article came out, it was on a Wednesday, I think it came out.
Yeah.
That Saturday we were out in Belmont at a brewery, Yorkchester Brewery.
Shout out to Yorkchester. Those people are awesome there.
Yes, very nice people. Was it our second time there?
I think so.
Yeah, second time. We sold 22 plates in one night. The most we'd ever sold
in one day.
Oh, and the whole time we've been in business combined in one night. We actually ran out of everything.
Yeah, she had to run into the store to try to go get more meat.
Because of the article. People found out about it. And they came flocking. Like
One
I said,
dude drove what? Didn't he drive like
2
an hour,
hours,
2 hours?
2 hours they came.
Because he wanted to buy Zweigels from us too, because we obviously have packages of Zweigels, which we do not sell really. Let me put that out there as a disclaimer.
We do not sell packages of Zweigels.
We have, to be nice, but we really don't sell them,
Right.
We've gotten text messages about that. Messages like, hey, we buy a couple packages off you. We try to be nice, we're not jerks, but we don't.
Is it a technicality thing that you can't?
Because we have a distribution deal, and, we get so many for a certain amount.
Yeah.
So, and plus, we got to watch our inventory because we may have 3 things booked the following week, but end up picking up 2 more, and then we're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, because we can't just go to like Harris Teeter and pick them up. We have to wait for them to get shipped into town.
It's
so
2 days.
Like a package or 2 could be we've shorted, or 5 packages, or however many packages that we may sell here or something. It's gonna it takes us time to actually get more. If we can just go and buy more, closer or something, it wouldn't be a big deal. But then again, everybody would go buy them anyway. So.
Right.
So, but that was a good day after that article and stuff. We're just basically pushing it. I want to keep pushing it, pushing the issue of the garbage plate, and have everybody in North Carolina know what a garbage plate is. I mean, it's been on Travel Channel, so it's out there. Man vs. Food is an episode of Man vs. Food where he was actually at Tahoe's, the originator. I'm sure people may or may not have seen that. It was a few years back. Just basically just trying to bring more awareness to it, because I don't see anybody really not liking it. It's like a picnic on a plate. Unless you just don't like macaroni salad or beef or something like that. Like, who's not going to like it,
Yeah, exactly. The home fries are, if they're done right, and the mac salad, that's the only thing. That would be the only component that people may not like is the macaroni salad.
Right. And the other thing, too, is we do everything fresh. We don't go to the store and buy
you make your own macaroni salad.
That's my baby.
Yeah.
The macaroni salad, I use my family's recipe.
Yep.
He makes the meat sauce, or we have to call it chili down here because people don't know what the hell meat sauce is.
And I'm very adamant about her saying it's meat hot sauce. It's a condiment, not necessarily like a side.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to be like, let me get a bowl of that chili and then eat it and be like, it's still gonna be great, but it's just not chili. It's meat hot sauce. It's a condiment like relish. It's not a side dish like how chili is down here. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yep.
So I make that. I've worked on that recipe honestly over a few months' time because I wanted to do it different from Nick Tahoe's as far as they use allspice, cloves. A lot of, it's like, I believe it's Greek influence. I think the Tahoes are Greek. I think so. It's a lot of clove and
it's got that sweetness to it, and
cinnamon and stuff like that. The actual you can look up the Nick Tahoe's recipe online.
Yeah, because they sell it and they distribute it.
They distribute it. Zweigels has their own. Everybody has their own. Like Bill Gray's and Tom Wall's, their sauce is more like vinegary. If you taste it, it tastes like more like vinegar in their sauce. So I made it. It's our own one of a kind sauce. Maybe we might see that on the shelves one day. So
Yeah, our hope is maybe next year we can bottle our remix sauce, which is a close second to the country sweet back
slash
home.
boss sauce.
Yeah.
It's a
Like that.
it's a country sweet slash boss sauce hybrid. So if you're out there from Rochester,
Again, he
you in
makes
Rochester,
it. It's
you know,
his
you're down
recipe.
here. You know, if you're from Rochester, you're down here in North Carolina, and you want that country sweet or that boss sauce or whatever. That's pretty much what the remix sauce is. I'm putting it out there. It's not a secret anymore.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Let's
hey,
ta-
talk about, because I know we talked about it yesterday. We were on the phone.
Yeah.
And I find it pretty interesting, and, you know, I find it pretty cool, actually unique. Nobody really does it, but you just basically said your remix sauce and, you know, how you kind of convert music and food, too. Because I know
Yeah.
Tom talked about you got the ludicrous wings. I think that's really cool, and
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, no one's really doing that. So talk about that for a second.
Was that a
Yeah.
joke or is that true? Like I know you have the DMX
Sure.
dog,
Sure.
you got all that.
That
stuff, but-
actually kind of happened by accident.
Sure.
Our name, our whole theme. We were standing in the kitchen one night, just shooting the shit, talking about whatever.
Yeah.
And he said Remixx Kitchen. It just came out in whatever conversation we were having. And I looked at him and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Also, actually, you know what it really started from was when you were working at Concentra. I wanted some extra cash on the side. I was getting bored working where I was working
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
And
So
I
he would-
decided
Where were you working on that?
where I was at.
Oh, the Firefighters Association.
I was at working at the Charlotte Firefighters Association. It was
Okay.
like more like a telemarketer, but I don't know. It was,
That's a long story.
Yeah,
Shit, it was-
it was just cool guys that work there at Charlotte Firefighter Association. Anybody ever hears this or whatever like that. But as far as the actual job, I feel like we were stealing from people because they thought we were actual firefighters when we would call for this money or whatever like that, for these tickets to whatever country
Concert,
star or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. They didn't have anybody good ever. But on the side there, I would get bored because I wasn't cooking at the time. I cook at home. But I wanted to do... I just want to cook for the masses, so I started having her print out menus and bringing them into her job. And one of the steak sandwiches, I was like, we got to do it how we do it back home. And that's
With
what a
the
remix
shaved steak and all
with the
that.
shaved steaks we do. You go to little corner stores in the hood, you get shaved steak, lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo, and it's a drizzle of boss sauce and banana pepper and sweet peppers or banana peppers on it. And that's what we do. And I want to take that sandwich to them. I'm marking that today as a sandwich that's already been created, but I'm going to take it because we eat that all over Rochester. Shaved steak, lettuce, tomato, mayo, I think usually American or provolone cheese with the drizzle of boss sauce. You get that at, like I said, any corner store, any little shop or whatever like that. But that sauce, that's where it came from. I was like, I want to call that remix sauce because remember how I said that? I was like, I'm going to call that the remix sauce because it's a combination. It's a
Right.
hybrid of country sweet and boss sauce.
Right.
It's not quite that though. And
Right.
then down the line is when the name came up. I was like, well, Remixx Kitchen.
Yeah.
And obviously just to play on the hip hop thing because obviously I love music, wanted to be an aspiring artist. 15, 16, 17 years old. We had the crew. We were trying to mock our crew after like the Wu-Tang, so it was like 8 of us. First, it started off as 2 different crews. It was Medieval Society and it was Iron Embassy. It's 2 different crews, and then we merged to create the Last Dynasty. And that's probably like 50 people. Needless to say, that group didn't last because of all the egos, and I think I was too busy getting drunk. Just too
Something
busy
like that,
running
yeah.
off over here.
Yeah.
Buddy, shout out to my buddy Willie. He was all about it. But a lot of everybody wasn't really into it as much as that. It was like half and half. Like some people were really into it, and some people were playing like play. So that's kind of where that thing went. But yeah, I always want to incorporate something with music, and nobody else is doing it down here either. I mean, it's another thing about it. We wanted to be original. That's like down to the name Remixx. 2 X's because it's extra tasty.
And plus, we didn't want to box ourselves into one particular
Food category genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy's barbecue,
Right.
or whatever.
Right. So Jimmy Barbecue,
Right.
you pop up with some, some sushi or something. I'm be looking, what the hell is that? You know, like,
yeah.
you know, like that's why I was. Yeah.
And that actually, back to the business side of things, that actually is really smart because I had a guy I was telling you I was doing meal prep for him, and he didn't pigeonhole himself. He had it Neely's Mealies, which it was fine, you know. But I just noticed he switched it to Neely's Kitchen. You know, it is what it is. But I mean, on the same token, you know, you don't pigeonhole yourself to a certain name. It's kind of broad, but it is you Remixx. You know what I mean? So no, that's really cool. Eric, do you have any other questions?
What's that?
I said, do you have any other questions? You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No, I mean, that's
Yeah, just as far as like naming the names and stuff like that, that was a fun process.
Yeah,
You
that was
know.
all us.
Yeah, that
We
was,
did
you
it
know, like I
all.
said, Snoop Dogg for the Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg because of, it's Nate D-O-double-G, and then, Ludacris. That I actually think I saw somewhere.
You stole that one.
I stole the Ludacris
Chicken.
from somebody. I think it was actually another Remixx Kitchen out there, 1X. I don't know. I can't remember that part, but I took that. I definitely took that. And then the Biggie plate, because it's so big, so we call it a Biggie plate. Can't really call it a garbage plate because they have like a trademark issue over that.
Sued.
That's why if you go back to Rochester, there's trash plates, there's varsity plates, there's plate, rubbish plates. There's all a different Dogtown plate. Like there's different names for the plate back home.
So we should clarify, it's the Biggie plate.
It's the Biggie
That's what
plate.
it's called. All right.
But it is a garbage plate. And I've heard before, I think months back, like, what is that, a bootleg garbage plate? I don't know what a bootleg garbage plate is because I'm from Rochester. I've just taking the concept of something that was in one city and taking it to another city. There's a truck in LA called the Garbage Truck, and they serve garbage plates supposedly. So I'm not sure if they're still active. I think I heard somebody say something like that. One of whose friends. You know who I'm talking about. So I saw a picture of it or something like, what's that, like a bootleg garbage plate? I was like, what is a bootleg garbage plate? I really don't want to say this, but it just reminds me of Rochester. I think she was Rochester. And I think there's some Rochester hate for no reason. Yeah. And you see somebody else doing well or trying to do something. It's a concept like, it's just I
think we talk about haters a lot because I think even the podcast, and sometimes it's people that are, that person may or may not have been close to you, but occasionally it could be a family member. I know, Eric, we talk about whether it be a dad
actually, remember what
or
we
a
talked
friend.
about today?
Yeah, we just talked about it today.
Like, so we gave a perfect example real fast is, we started this and we've only been at it for 17 episodes, so it's only a little bit more than, 3 months. And I was telling Tom that I got an uncle who was kind of chirping, making fun of it, and I was just saying to Tom that, when you start something, you start it because you really want to do it, you love it, you have passion for it. Right. So, for example, the scenario I gave Tom was, let's say I got a kid and somebody else has a kid. They're at the playground playing, and my kid falls on the ground. I'm going to run over to him. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Let me look. The other person's just going to look at my kid like, oh, that kid fell. They may even be like, oh, it's too bad for him or whatever. But because it's mine, because I nurtured it, because I grew it, because, I nurtured him, he grew up under me, I basically grew him, into the man he is and whatnot. We got to look at it as the same thing as your business, whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. You started it from the ground up. It's yours. You nurtured it. You own it. You have the passion. So we talk about your passion is your passion, nobody else's. So when you talk about it with somebody, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's okay. And you're going to kind of almost, sometimes people will be hurt or be like upset or kind of surprised that they don't have the same passion as you do for it because it's not theirs, it's yours, Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's how we kind of look at it when people kind of say, oh, you're doing your podcast, oh my God, like you only had like, it's like, dude, come talk to me in 20 years. Then when we have like 100,000 followers plus, then we'll talk, So it's kind of like,
I don't know if people realize that things start.
And,
everybody wants to be in the winner's circle, but nobody wants to like race the race. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
something like that. Like everybody wants to. We used to talk about that when I used to rap. Like people, y'all want to be rappers, blah blah blah, stuff like that. You never be like this group, and obviously we never did, obviously for different reasons or whatever. But if we'd have made it, those same people would have been on the bandwagon or whatever like that. It's just how it goes. Like I've talked about that a couple different times with a few different people. But luckily, in most of my circle, nobody's really hating as much. Everybody's just been waiting. Mm-hmm. Like when I've got a lot of wins over the last 5 to 6 years or whatever. When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? You've been talking about when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? I don't want to hear about it no more. When are you gonna do it? So luckily that's cool. But I know I'm gonna hear something, so I'm gonna have to put that out there as another disclaimer. Like I'm not saying we invented the garbage plate at all whatsoever. I'm saying I'm from Rochester and I brought it here. That's what people do. You know what I'm saying? Like how somebody might be from Chicago and bring a Chicago style dog to New York or something to sell it out of wherever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's business. You take something and you bring it somewhere it's not. You know, I can go over to Hawaii and probably make a killing with the plates, or they can bring over Loco Moco, which is their famous dish over there, and bring it here and maybe make a killing. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's business. Like,
it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
And if you don't have drive and you don't have passion for what you're doing, then you might as well just sit on your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not going to do it, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do it, go hard, go balls to the wall. I mean, we've had plenty of late nights and long days, and I mean, there's still going to be more to come, but I mean, we haven't even been open a year yet, and I think we've come a long way.
Yeah,
100%.
As far as the momentum,
time.
The little newspaper joint,
Yeah.
the Facebook reviews are looking lovely out there. Everybody's seeing the garbage plate. Oh my God, loving it. It's authentic. It's great. Just was on WBTV last week, Tuesday, highlighting the plate. Like, we created some steam in under a year. You know, like, there's a long way to go. You know, but I mean, everybody has to start from somewhere. You have to realize that. It's just the fear that people don't want to start. You know, like maybe the fear of failing. I mean, we still go through that. Like, you know, I hope everything does go the way we keep putting out this good product and stuff. But some businesses fail. A lot of restaurants fail within the first year or two. You know, so we still like sometimes wonder about that and think about it. But we just keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Keep chugging.
And keep going. Keep going.
So I want to ask you a real quick question. What? You had a unique goal that you were talking about. You were talking about potentially, what was it about? Going on tour? Or,
I would love to do that.
I know you have, obviously 2 beautiful babies that they were Mason and Mags. They were really cute. They just came down. But, what is the plan for Remixx Kitchen? You have, one food truck that it sounds like you guys are you got it to a point where it's almost a well-oiled machine. It's getting there, and it's, you're learning.
Yeah, now it's just about staff, honestly. We need more staff.
Yeah, and that's a challenge to keep people that are
100%
right. Just like a restaurant, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got people in
revolving door, yeah. You know how a restaurant goes, yeah.
Because, I mean, with this kind of thing, we rely on other people to contact us. And, I go out on cold calls. I stop by business parks. I stop into, huge companies that have a reception desk to try to talk to somebody. But it's not always well received. Sometimes people look at me like I have 5 heads. Like, what in the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
Get out of my face. I'm like, damn, all I want to do is serve y'all some lunch, you know? But,
I'm not trying to do nothing.
But,
I'm not trying to do nothing wrong.
Sometimes it's difficult getting in touch with the right person. So that's also
and you mean
a
business
challenge.
Developing? You mean like trying to find
more places to go to serve?
Right.
Because Uptown, they have a lot of different requirements and special permits you need to buy. We ain't trying to do all that right now. We're pretty satisfied with what we have.
Good.
And trying to find a little bit more within the territories we kind of go in now.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been a challenge, and depending on where we are and what kind of event we're doing will depend on how many staff we need. Like a Matthews Food Truck Friday, we have to have 4 people because it's just pure pain for 4 hours.
Walk me through, like, you had the idea, you bought the truck, obviously, you bought it from whoever. Was it local that you bought it, or was it
trailer?
Yeah, like I want to know if I wanted to start a food truck, what is, like, you buy the truck. Obviously, you have an idea what type of food you want to serve, whatever. The licenses, the permit, is that all a pain in the ass?
Yes.
Or is that... Okay.
Yes.
So you got to do the food inspection. I saw the post that you guys had.
Yeah.
All that is a real pain in the butt.
Which took us months for that.
Yeah, so talk about... You probably got frustrated somebody. You were like,
God,
fucking
yeah.
A, like,
oh,
this
yeah.
sucks. Like,
I'm surprised I don't have a full head of gray hair.
Right.
But, I mean, it's definitely a process. We bought the trailer in March or April and didn't actually get on the road until September to start serving. That it's a very long, trying, frustrating process. Because the trailer itself, we found a guy on Craigslist that actually retrofits them in his spare time.
Gotcha.
So we kind of got lucky with that. I mean, I had looked into buying like a used U-Haul truck and having it retrofitted professionally, but that shit was like 50 G's.
Oh, God.
Not including the vehicle.
Yeah.
So we were like,
vehicle was what, 10?
It was he said I could get it for $9, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, that was like 60,
So
70.
yeah, but so we kind of lucked out finding the trailer already fitted. I mean, we did do some modifications inside of it, the way we wanted it, as far as extra cooling space, extra refrigeration,
Grill
that type
top,
of thing.
whatever
We
you
bought all the equipment brand new online to try to save money. But as far as the permits and all the health department requirements, I mean, I had to go online and make phone calls and just, I mean, you talk about
persistent.
exactly notes upon notes upon notes upon notes in a legal pad, to try to get to the bottom of what we have to have, what it needs to be done. Yeah, I mean,
Actually, I think it might have been simpler back in Rochester. I think it was harder down here.
Yeah.
well, it was probably harder down here because we're still fairly new.
Right.
We don't know. I mean, back home, we know where the health department is.
Right.
We know
Same
where,
analogy as hooking the trailer up.
Exactly,
Right. Point where
exactly.
you know what you got to do, and
Right.
that's
I mean, now I know, the person I have to call, or the place I have to look online, or what places around Charlotte have certain items that we may need.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, it's been a huge, huge learning process, and it's still going to be, it's going to continue to be, but we can only get better. Especially from our first time.
Man, I was smoked out, man. I'm telling you, I was sweating.
Oh,
People
yeah.
were standing there. There's a line of people outside the Kia dealership out in Gastonia
was
there.
terrible.
Shout out to the Kia dealership. Please have us come back out.
We're better now,
We're
I
10 times better
promise.
now. Please let us come back out. It was just, I kept walking out the back door, like, just walking out, just like looking at customers like, damn, it's hot. Like, people just looking at me looking sad. And we wear gray shirts, too, so the sweat, you could just see the sweat just.
you had an extra little bit of salty.
Yeah.
Extra seasoning
that was-
flavor, man. Like, the fan, that was the part with the smoke was the exhaust fan, conked out or whatever like
It
that.
wouldn't work
was-
because we had no power.
Because we just didn't have enough power to move it or whatever. But even then we had to get a new exhaust because the one that the guy installed was like for like
An attic in
attic.
the house.
So we had to get like one that was like triple the size anyways
Yeah.
down the line.
Oh, wow.
That's that learning experience. Like the guy we got it from, nice guy, lives in Charlotte,
But he
whatever.
probably never really. Did he ever run one, or did he just do it?
I think he just put it together.
I really don't know.
And I don't think
he worked in a restaurant. He did work in a
I
restaurant.
just didn't know if he'd
remember him
ever been in the trenches like you
Right,
were. Being
right.
Like, okay,
I
I need
honestly
it 3
don't know.
times.
Right.
I don't know, but he cut a lot of corners.
Yeah, he definitely cut a lot of corners and those things that we didn't realize. Make sure you do your due diligence when you get in a trailer or truck if you're getting it built. I say if you can afford it, go the professional route. I know a lot of people have an uncle who can build some stuff or put something together.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass it, man.
Uncle
I'm telling
Jimmy's
you.
gonna build me up.
Uncle Jimmy's gonna do it.
Yeah.
All he needs is a 6-pack of beer and a thing of Marlboro Reds, it's like some Jim Beam or something. I know a lot of guys like that are my friends, so I'm not taking no shots. Shit. So, but yeah, just because you got that guy who but he's gonna keep coming back to him and coming back to him and coming back to him. You got to get some diamond plate in there. Make sure all your equipment's hooked up properly. I mean, one time we were at the Fall Frolic. They said we were leaking gas. Could have blew up.
Yeah, the propane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the regulator was wrong that he
Yeah,
put on.
the regulator. We had to get all that switched out to get a better regulator.
Yeah.
The exhaust fan ended up needing to be switched. We had to make sure we got everything down to a science as far as how we strap down our equipment.
So the fryer doesn't tip over.
Because we've had our fryer tip over a few times and oil's been in it. And if you show up to a service at 10 a.m. to get ready to work and your fryer tips over, trying to do it at 11.
Not working.
You're not working, or somebody's got to scramble to go to the store or something like that. And it's just, things like that have happened. Just, I say if you can afford it, get it professionally built. If you can't, make sure you do not cut any corners as far as that. We're still learning.
I wanted to. The thing we talked about yesterday too was about your creativity. Like obviously you wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
I realized that, and I just watched a video from The Rock, and he, obviously The Rock. Like, the smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah, he's out there.
But no, he said something about playing in the NFL. He never played there,
Yeah.
but it was the best thing that never happened to him.
Right.
Because he had all these different opportunities, wrestling, acting. I thought that was pretty cool because I had a dream of playing professional hockey, and it never really happened, never formalized. Now I have a lot of different opportunities. I'm doing this with Eric. I feel like sometimes the thing that we wish we would have happened whenever we are 25, 30 is the best thing that never happened because other things happen that other opportunities come up. But the one thing you talked about was creativity.
Yeah.
You thought that, coming up with different dishes and things like that. Talk about that. Like, is that creativity? Is that something that you just always had, or you always you always thought about? Or
Oh yeah, definitely.
I remember him. He used to come home after work when we were in Rochester, and he would be so upset because the manager or the head chef or whatever wouldn't let him make the special of the day or something like that. And
didn't think he had the ability to do it.
I don't know what his problem was.
It was an ego thing. It was an ego thing sometimes, whereas he thought he could do it better, or he was in charge, so he would come up with all this stuff instead of letting us have free range at the time. I mean, I've gone through a lot of different chefs, so some would be cool, let us have free range, some wouldn't. I definitely enjoy the aspect of creating. I actually think I like creating more than I actually like cooking. Honestly, to a certain degree, like putting these ideas together and just maybe having somebody else execute them for me. Like, yo, I should take this and take this and take this and then do this, and have somebody else do it for me. I mean, I don't mind. I'm just, I'm not old, but I've been there, done that with being in the hot kitchen, sweating your balls off. The
hustling,
the hustle and bustle part of it. I mean, using plastic wrap as a belt. Shout out to my man Dennis. when your belt breaks in the kitchen and you're going to get plastic wrap to use that as a belt, and run into all that stuff going on. But yeah, I actually think I like the creativity part of it because I have a lot of ideas.
Oh my God.
A lot of ideas. I have so many ideas, I don't think I'm going to have enough time on Earth to execute them all. So I'm writing them down for Max if he chooses to go that way. Wow. Which he doesn't have to cook if he doesn't want to. But.
And tell me your creative, so your process, is it, where do you get ideas? Because for me, when I'm taking I know it sounds weird, but when I'm taking a shower, I think it's a time when you're away from your phone, you're away from everything that's happening, and you're just whatever, washing your, washing your butt,
right.
And you're like, all right, I got time to think about everything else but life. You know what I mean?
And sometimes he'll he'll yell out of the shower, "Hey, babe, what do you think about this idea?"
Yeah.
But
what's the process? I mean,
there is no process.
Yeah,
I got stuff in here. I got chicken scratch all over this house.
Yeah,
I probably got stuff in the ceiling. I don't know. It literally just comes to me. It could be inspiration from watching Breaking Bad. It could be inspiration from watching Breaking Bad, like how we got it in the background. It could be Food Network. It could be something from Pinterest, but I want to switch that idea. Or it could just be something it just pops into my head. What was one example? Most recently, I want to do a shrimp. I want to do a shrimp. We got the sausage caser over there. I want to take shrimp, ground shrimp, and make shrimp hot dog. And do how people do shrimp scampi. I want to take the scampi sauce and turn that into a cold slaw and do a shrimp dog with a scampi slaw on top of it and maybe some other type of drizzle on there. But yeah, that was random. Just take the concept of shrimp. Just taking the concept of shrimp scampi and turning it into a hot dog, and I don't think anybody else has done it. It's always just the inspiration of wondering if anybody else done it. So it'll pop into my head, and then I'll Google it. And then I'll Google it.
Like a pioneer. You feel like you're just the first to do it.
This is him all the time.
Just try, just think, I wonder if somebody did that. Some things have been done. We did the Dorito crusted grilled cheese a few weeks back. Just take the, let's get your bread and your cheese and all that, dump it in your egg wash, roll it around in the grilled cheese and fry. Dump Doritos and then fry it or whatever. That's been done, but it's sometimes it's well, when has it been done around here?
Yeah. Somebody might not have heard of it at that point.
Mm-hmm. And awesome. we just that's we do our basic with the hot dogs. That's why it goes the garbage plate, the biggie plate, the Luda crispy, the sausage and pepper. But you
want people to know that we're not just burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that shows your versatility, right? You were I've done the most gourmet stuff, but I've also done the hot dog, and the ability for you to creatively come up with a way to make a hot dog fucking out of this world. It sounds like So
where we
I don't know.
We can sear scallops, make risotto that make Gordon Ramsay smile. So I'm not, he'll be like, that's some good stuff right here. So I'm not definitely a very humble person, but I do know that I got some skills. Man.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it also plays into the business too, because most of the time I'm in the window or I'm outside taking orders and talking to people, and it feels really good to be able to say, "Hey, we make it all."
100%.
He makes it all.
You're not going to Harris Teeter.
No, we're not doing no processed, certain round chicken patties,
right.
frozen. That's not what we do.
And people can tell the difference too.
Yeah.
And people have said it. People have said it on Facebook.
Oh yeah. People have told us. People have said it.
Does that become like for us? Like we don't get monetarily paid, obviously, doing the podcast, but somebody messages us on Instagram. Somebody messages us
just saying
on
it was
YouTube.
dope.
Yeah, saying I literally stuck up to my boss that was a dick. You know, like because you told me to, or not you told me, but you
pretty much
said
inspired,
something in the podcast that said dig up the negative seed in people. You know, like people I feel like plant these negative seeds and like try to, you know, take you down and stuff like that. And we talk about that, and it's like because of you I did that. And that for me, like for you guys, it must be almost like becomes like oxygen for us. And we listen to a guy and he says like the comments and the likes and all that stuff. Well, you don't do it for that. It becomes almost like a, you know, even more so motivation. I don't know.
Definitely don't do it. Definitely don't do it for it, but it definitely nice. Kind of reassuring, let you know you're doing a good job too. You know,
100%,
he's very, very modest when it comes to his talent. He's always worried that it's not going to be good enough, or it's not going to taste right, or I have to taste everything to make sure it's.
I just have this thing about women and their palates versus men. Like, as far as the pickiness, me and just working in restaurants. That's anything against women. Just say I've always felt like some of my hardest customers have been women. It's hard to please as far as cooking. So
he's always looking for that good feedback and those good reviews. Just I guess for maybe a little bit of reassurance on his end, because you know he's the creative mind behind all this. Yeah. I'm just the brains and the beauty.
Hey,
I don't even actually look at the reviews anymore at this point. Cause I don't know.
It's almost like that playing into the haters or but you want to. You know, customer service, all that stuff. You know,
that's
you
why
obviously
I
want
deal
to take
with
care
it.
of it.
Yeah, that's why she deals with it. Anytime you say something on, anytime you say a review on Facebook or whatever like that, chances are it's Laura responding to it or whatever like that. Ryan said it the other day. He's like, yeah, I can tell that you're usually just posting all the pictures of the food and stuff like that. So and she's taking care of all like the posting the schedule and stuff like that. Ryan was saying that. I was like, damn right. Like, I'll post the food and ideas and sesame chicken wings and all that stuff all the time. What's coming new? It's the new single.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if we're doing something that you don't like, or you want to see something different, or
don't be afraid to
I mean, we want to know both, you know, the good, bad, and the ugly. I mean, you don't necessarily have to blast it all over Facebook if you didn't particularly like something.
Private message, text the phone.
I mean, if we make a mistake, we'll fix it.
100%.
If you have a suggestion, we'll listen. We want to know. I mean, that's really the driving force behind, you know, all the creativity and the whole concept of being able to do, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I mean, and of course you always want to hear good things.
So you get the positive reinforcement.
But you also have to be prepared for knowing that you're not always going to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't please everybody.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a complex with that. So so you know. Like I said, if you got something bad to say, I just text the phone or something like that. Just tell me or something like that. Because, you know, I don't want you to try to, you know, a bad review can ruin my whole business. And no one is thinking about our livelihood as far as our lights, our bills, our gas, or anything like that.
Not your rent, but your mortgage.
Yeah, nobody wants to think, nobody thinks about that. I'm not saying you're supposed to, but just, you don't, though. You know, you know, just, oh man, that was trash, yo. It was the worst thing I ever ate. I ain't never eating there again. I could kill us. I could kill us. And then, you know, then what do you want me to do after that? Then, I don't know, working in a strip club, all mail review. I don't know. just the guy who owned Remixx Kitchen. Damn, you really want that? Yeah. Maybe they do. I don't know. He did it, but he's not doing it anymore. He's not doing it anymore. So we're striving for longevity because, you know, this is a very hard business. And like I said, it's been very tumultuous. Her and I have looked at each other and pretty much almost stabbed each other a couple times on the trailer because I can be a jerk, you know, because I'm the kitchen guy that can move at this certain speed, and she's not a kitchen person, so I'm moving around.
I know nothing about any of this stuff, nothing. So it's been a double learning experience for me.
But I still encourage anybody, if you got a dream or something like that, just don't be discouraged. Or fear is a son of a bitch. I mean,
but you know, I was in the same situation with my bosses or my places of employment that I was at. You know, I'd get frustrated with my coworkers. You know, because I'm a hard worker. I'm a very hard worker. And
people coming in late,
not
calling
showing
off,
up, being lazy, sitting on their ass.
drunk,
you know,
stoned,
I mean, I worked
Yeah.
in a hospital. You know,
Half-assed,
people's lives
100%,
are at
yeah.
stake. You know, and you got nurses sitting on their ass, looking on their phone, not doing a damn thing, and I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to take care of 12 patients at one time.
Yeah.
You know, get off your butt, do something.
Yep.
So, you know, it's even though I'm not in the food industry, I love to eat. Yep. And, you know, I've always kind of wanted to work for myself as well, be my own boss, make my own schedule, you know, so.
Making your own schedule is a key one, too, because you know how many times I worked in the kitchen and I missed I worked in the kitchen, I missed a wedding, or I couldn't call off, so I missed somebody's funeral, or that's what the ownership came from. Just not having those constraints like that, you know what I'm saying? I want to take my birthday off. Or you restaurant
you're not
business.
Going to schedule an
Right.
event for that day.
Right.
You
Or
know.
working in a restaurant business. If anybody knows, like 2 of the biggest or 3 of the biggest days are like New Year's Eve. Never really had a New Year's Eve off. Valentine's Day. Never really had a Valentine's Day off. Mother's Day. Never really had a Mother's Day off. And you just want to have those days off. You know what I'm saying? Like just things like that are just getting barked at by an owner. We're not going to go into specifics of what owner, but I just don't want the BS of the corporate versus the non-corporate, and just how people act towards you, and you know the chain of power and command and stuff like. I remember I was working at Outback. You literally couldn't go outside to smoke a cigarette or anything like that unless it was a trash run, and the only person who had the keys to the back door was the manager, and it would be like on a clock too. So you can only be outside for like 3 minutes, or the buzzer would go off or whatever like that, and start beeping. You had to run out, but you had to be smoking a cigarette, taking the trash off. You could probably get sick doing that. Like that was the only time you can go out. Just little things like that, like I just didn't like it. I remember finding people passed out, in the kitchen too. We're rowdy as far as there's drug abuse and alcoholism and stuff, because we work them late hours. People get out, there's nothing to do. So people are getting messed up. You come into work, somebody's drunk, laying in the cooler, half naked. Like, these are true stories, man. Like, these are true stories. People throughout the course of the shift, you got the liquor room or whatever like that, or the beer cooler. People dipping in there real quick, grabbing something periodically throughout the shift, putting their bottles back in there. Like, oh my goodness, like. Doing whippets.
We don't do none of that.
I'm just saying,
we're a family-owned business.
Yes, we're a family-owned business. I'm just saying, just the plight of what the stuff that you had to go through being there. I'm not saying I was the model employee. I'm just saying, like, sometimes this stuff gets old. Gets old, and that's just. You don't really want to clean. That's another thing too. Like you don't really want to clean for do all that cleaning for somebody. You don't really want to put your extra effort into something that you only care about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Is your baby now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're kind of that extra mile. Like, hey, we need to change the fan. All the little things that you need to take care of. Now you have to do it.
Yep. And you're gonna want to do it though. That's the thing. You're not gonna want to do it when you're getting barked at by some owner who's. Whatever, drunk, drinking scotch, yelling at you like you're a slave or something like that.
Yeah.
Firing people right in the middle of a Friday night shift, knowing you're already short staffed as it is enough, but he looked at you the wrong way, so he fired you, and now we're extra short. Oh man, I got too many stories of that stuff. It's as bad.
Well, it's good to hear you've kind of evolved from that.
Yes.
Now you're doing
family business.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Got Max taking orders sometimes. People like to see that. He's only 8 years old.
Yeah,
he can work.
Max came down holding your 4-week-old? Is that Max? Their son was holding the 4-week-old baby that they have, and you could tell he's a responsible kid.
Yeah.
I was like, and he's in the truck taking orders, and so it's really a cool little story. So. Well, we're getting close to almost about an hour. Diddy, I don't know if you're still there. I know you've been quiet.
I'm just listening.
No, I know you are. You've been quiet, so appreciate that.
He's a chatterbox.
Soaking it in.
Yeah.
You guys do your thing, Sometimes
I'm
you just gotta
definitely
sit back and listen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm definitely a chatterbox. Laura definitely gets annoyed by me, but I make things interesting, though.
Yeah, you got it. Well, no, we always take each show, and we always literally from the bottom of our whatever you want to call it heart. We always appreciate people, not only listening. And we always say if there's one person that listens to this episode and listens to your story of working the shitty jobs, having the dream that you want to build up, and then all of a sudden the dream goes to shit when you're generator doesn't work. Like the reality of that, you know what I mean? Like you have this great dream, and you guys have a vision for it, and then you jump out into the actual dream and the reality, and you're like, "Fuck, this is hard work. Like this is actually, I'm sweating my ass off." So then, like that's kind of unique for me. I think about that. I have a dream, and then all of a sudden, you're living the dream, and you're like, "This is kind of a nightmare." You know, like I wanted to be a NASCAR pit crew member. That was my dream. I wanted to be a tire changer. And then you get into it, and you're like, "Wow, it's not as good as I thought it was." Right. You know, and even for you, the creativity, that creative part, that seems like more of your real, like deep down inside of you. Yeah. I think that is it, but you can kind of let that through in the food truck and all that stuff. You know, so that to me is fascinating. You know, finding different vessels to actually, like for me, this is actually creative for me. I like creating stuff, but I'm not a painter. I'm not I'm not a musician. You know, this for me is like creative. I don't know.
My mom used to think I was going to be like this great artist, even though she didn't realize I was blind. Like, can't draw a square, let alone like something else. Like, what are you talking about, Mom? But I definitely enjoy creating, and I'm definitely.
We've never owned a business before. This is our first, first time around. I knew nothing about any kind of food service. I mean, I worked at a party house, but I was just like serving food and clearing plates.
Yeah, I've been
so
doing
this is like way more than I ever thought it would be. But even though it's very stressful, it's ours. You know, it's like having another child. You know, and whatever you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a lot of hard work, and we're broke as hell, but we're still going. You know, we have to go. Like we have to.
I can relate. I'm actually Airbnb-ing my apartment out, and I'm sleeping on an air mattress in my other room.
We got a spare bedroom. You want to run it?
I'm serious though. Like you have to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
And I told Eric before we talked today. I told him I want to bear my lifestyle down so much so I can do what I want to do and not be constrained by I got to make $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever the amount of money is
we have
per
no
month,
life. We have no life because everything is
seemingly revolves around this, but it's going to pay off with the hard work. I'll tell you that hard work, dedication, discipline, and patience.
We'll be able to take vacations. We'll be able to have other people.
And you may have somebody you can trust to run
it the way exactly. That's where we want to be. Maybe year 5 is having other people actually working on the trailer that he trains. How he wants things done, how he wants them presented. As far as taste and quality, so we can
show up.
Do other things.
They actually kind of care too.
Right.
I mean, if I had it my way, I'd probably would try to expand it to some of my family members. Because I got like my younger cousin Antoine, he's a chef and stuff like that. But I don't know how that will play out. He's obviously
but we're loners down here.
Yeah, he's up there or down here. I mean,
so
maybe if I was able to afford a lifestyle for them or something, I don't know, to have him come down. But that would be like the actual goal, like is to have people. Like family members or friends run it, not just people I actually hire off Craigslist. Yeah. That's what I would actually like to do. Because I want all of us to win, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody is going to win, but I'd like to be able to put people in position to win who've,
kind of been there for you.
Yeah.
And real quick, going back to that goal, and before we wrap it up, going back to the goal, you said something about going on tour.
Yeah, I would love to take.
Talk about that. You want to go on tour with like a, I don't know.
I would love to take the. I would love to take the trip. I would love to take every concept, every aspect of the hip hop world. Like right now, I'm doing a podcast. I don't know how many food trucks have done podcasts. A lot of rappers have done podcasts.
Yeah.
So like the concept of going on tour, like go to Atlanta, go here. I would like to take that concept of going on tour with the truck, with maybe an artist, maybe with shows or something like that, or just going to big, or just us,
Remixx tour.
Yes, going on a Remixx tour, 10 cities or something like that. I don't really know how to go about it other than probably just permits and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'd have to map out
learn the lay of the land. But I would love to do that because I just don't think anybody else is doing it. I mean, I know maybe carnies do something like that, carnival workers, but I don't know how many real food trucks are doing that. Go take it up to Rochester for a big event, go to Boston, go to, Vegas, just go like 10-city date and people just come out to get some food and maybe, if we get to the point where we're big enough, we can have an artist maybe hang out outside the truck with us or something to perform storm or something on top of the truck. I don't care. You have Kanye West wilding out in some Yeezy boots. I don't know, just screaming at people for no reason. Like that would be dope. I think that's an interesting concept because I don't think anybody else is doing it. And it's just that passion for hip hop. I mean, I'd love to be outside the radio station here or even Hot 97 serving up something one day. Or a lot of those goals are achievable, but anything that's hip hop incorporated. As far as even having somebody come up and grab a dog one day, I'd like to see Nas come up one day, one of my favorite artists, like, yo, I got just a regular hot dog. Yo, that shit was good, yo. Like, thank you. Like, and take a picture with him or something. Just, so.
All right, give me, since you're hip hop, you're rap. I used to love a little story about DMX. I had DMX's first CD. Mm-hmm. I think it was
Darkest Hell is Hot?
Yes. What was the next one after that?
You had it. What's the second next album? I should know this. I feel bad now.
Moral of the story. I had it in my CD
blood,
player.
Whatever, blood something. You had the album, Laura.
Anyways,
I can't even remember the name half the time, let alone an album that was...
Flesh of My Flesh, Blood
yeah,
of My Blood.
That's what it was. I had that CD, DMX. I had it in my CD player. I was listening to it. I don't know what year it was, but I was young. My dad heard it. It's something about sucking my...
Oh, yeah.
He came in. He's got these big bear claws. He grabbed the CD out of my CD player and goes... just crushed it. And I go, oh, God. So growing up, I like DMX. I like Nas. I like, like Tupac. All these rappers, I realized that I really like hip-hop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Back when I was growing up. And I don't know how that came about, but, it was just that music was... I liked it, Yeah. And so give me... I guess top track, top artist. You said Nas.
Yeah.
Who do you go to when you're listening to hip hop? What's your
go-to?
That's a load.
I mean, you got
a lot. I got a lot. I'll just name off like freestyle real quick. I'm obviously listening to some Wu-Tang, Nas, Eminem, Outkast, something like that real quick. Just like
one track. What if you think back? One track that you were just like that was it. You know what I mean?
It changes every day.
Yeah, it does. Maybe Nas. Oh man, wow.
So you think about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, God, this is a lot. Think of an inspirational track for the viewer, for the listeners out there. Something inspirational because you got some raw stuff that's gonna make you want to go work out and run. Or
another goal is actually to have Guy Fieri
from all Diners, Driving and Dives.
From Triple D on the Food Network. Come check out our truck because he's been to Charlotte several times.
Yep.
And I know he goes to food trucks, so that's one of our other goals too.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, just like I said yesterday, accolades. I like some accolades. Something like I said, I don't want to win necessarily Creative Loafing's best food truck this year or whatever, but I want to win best concept. Like things like that would make me happy because I think it's a cool concept. People, you gotta have fun when it comes to the food. Everything doesn't have to be overly uptight and gourmet and stuff. I mean, you're just selling food. Yeah. That's why when people come up and they're a little maybe angry at us or just angry with life in general, it's like, hey, I mean, we're just selling you some food. Like I'm not trying to do anything wrong.
Like you're actually, it's a reflection of them. They probably had whoever, they may have had something that they took it out on you.
Yeah.
But
nothing to do with you guys.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So, well, we appreciate it. I know, Eric, feel free to, if you want to kind of send it off and kind of close it down for the weekly, grinder of the week. I think we lost him. But, no, normally we do, at the end of every episode, we do the grinder of the week, which we basically, we devote somebody something, we just say, hey, we appreciate, what this person is doing. They're inspirational, motivational, whatever you want to call it. But we call it the grinder of the week. We do it every single week. But this week, obviously, we got to give it to you guys. Just, for us, it really means a lot for us to, in a 3 or 4 day notice, for you to come on and just, tell your story and talk about it. And just, I've personally been, I'm like, fuck, like, I've worked all these different jobs and I'm thinking about, every time I listen to somebody's story, it gives me a little bit of a, kind of a bank deposit to say, keep doing what I want to do. You know what I mean? And not just be like, go work at this crappy job, which I'm bartending, I'm Airbnb in my apartment, I'm Ubering, like I have the hustle. I know I have the work ethic. It's just a matter of finding what it is, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it. It really means a lot for me to have you guys come on and just kind of talk about your story. I had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
And just tell, like, where can we... Obviously, you're on Facebook. You have a website.
Yep.
You have a website.
Yep.
And you post your events on Facebook?
Facebook. Yep, I post a new schedule every Monday on Facebook. Our website is remixxkitchen.com. Remixx is 2 X's.
Extra tasty. Instagram,
Twitter.
I don't mind on Snapchat yet, but
No.
I might use that. I don't think I really need to use that. But yeah, we're on all social media outlets, the basic Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's definitely have our website and stuff. So.
And I got a huge shout out because you gave me the opportunity to, I think you got a treat for me in the fridge or somewhere.
Yes.
You got a garbage plate. I just have to say, we got to do an on-air tasting. I don't know if it's cold or not.
No, actually, I got to make it.
You got to make it.
I got to put it together for you.
We'll report back on that. I'm gonna leave a good review. They got to prepare it, but Lorenzo was nice enough. He's gonna give me a plate to try.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be obviously devouring that because I don't need to be drunk. I'm gonna enjoy it. I bet.
Straight up.
Yeah. After we talk about food for the whole episode, so. No, we appreciate it, and like I said, I appreciate everyone's really awesome.
Definitely
man.
appreciate you guys as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
I know we lost Eric, but we finished it up.
He's eating some chowder right now.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Good.
So
he's got chowder.
We're gonna sign off, and like we say every week, we appreciate you guys jumping on here, listening to us, hearing people's stories, and really just getting hopefully inspired. If we can inspire one person, that's all we really care about. So we thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.